Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Privacy Please. Cameron Ivy here, hanging out with Gabe Gums. How you doing, Gabe?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Getting ready to celebrate the independence of
Days?
the independence of the days. Yes, the independence of the days.
Yes, the old tradition of the forefathers. Buy some overly priced, expensive fireworks and take the chance of blowing your fingers off. I'm ready for it.
I mean, sounds like tradition. I don't
if that ain't America,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what is.
M80s and apple pies. They go well together. I hope everyone does stay safe out there this year. Like, unfortunately, like we're joking, but it happens, and I'm only half a degree away from someone that it happened to once a few years back, and oh man, not good. Like you're not interested in this kind of trauma. They lost 4 or 5 fingers on one hand. It's just not good. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid. No drinking and driving. No setting off fireworks while drinking and driving.
Yeah.
You don't
want to be down the road where your friends nickname you Nubs.
No,
right?
That's right. There's 3 headlines you don't want.
What
John was breached by ransomware.
Sorry, John.
6 months later, John has still not come back online because he was breached by ransomware. John lost 4 fingers in a fireworks drunk boating accident.
John's not doing so well.
John has some real deep introspective time he needs to spend really looking at himself in the mirror, asking himself, why, John? Why are these things happening to me? Apologies if your name is John.
Yeah, sorry, John. There's a lot of Johns out there. That was a good name to pick.
That was a lot of Johns. Yeah. John Doe. That's the John I'm talking about. You know
John
who you
Doe?
are, Mr.
John
Doe. Mr. Doe knows who he is. He's always getting into some kind of shit.
I love dough.
Yeah.
Freshly baked dough.
Fried dough. Yeah, fresh bake is good too. Fried dough. Every country in the world has their own version of fried dough. Everyone out there knows what I'm talking about. And they're just fabulous. Some countries sprinkle, like confectionaries on it, like powdered sugar. Others stuff them full of savory stuff. Some just serve it with butter. Some just serve it as is. It's fried dough, man.
So speaking of that, I don't know what made me think of this, but have you ever made pancakes? But instead of making them pancakes, when you pour the batter into the pan, start to break up all the mix and then make it into like little pieces. So then you pour those little pieces into a bowl and then you dribble, blueberries on top. I take like powdered peanut butter and mix it with egg whites and then pour that on top.
Holy moly.
And it's like eating a healthy, because I make protein pancakes. It's like eating healthy, like what's that dessert that's like the fried
acai bowl? Fried funnel cake. Oh.
So it's almost like a funnel cake, like bowl that I make.
I'm gonna need to go back and re-listen to this episode such that I capture that recipe again, because it's
yummy.
You
can make good pancakes out of cottage cheese, eggs, and like protein powder or something to give it like a flavor, and then make pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some oatmeal in there or something with it to make it a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Anyways,
it's good. I like it.
Yeah. So speaking about, let's talk a little bit. This is like our halfway point in the year.
We are just about halfway in the year. It moves fast, doesn't it? Every year it happens. And here we are. We're about halfway through.
Move fast. Yeah.
The rated.
Oh, actually, you know what does move fast?
That definitely doesn't. The ones and zeros ticking up in my bank account. What? Those don't move as fast as.
Yeah. No, those are very slow.
Yeah.
I was going to say
increasing number of commas. Oh, shit, those have been going up too fast. We're only like, I don't know, a few months out before the salty soothsayer returns and reviews some of his predictions for the year. But we figured we're halfway through the year. Let's check in so far and just, how we doing?
Yeah.
we pulled some of the naughty numbers, but why don't we start with the positive? I think there's some good things that have happened this year so far. I mean, I'll open up with a couple of things. I think one of the things that we saw was some really, really great conversations around AI governance and responsibility. We spent a ton of time talking about how AI was all the doom and gloom and the world was going to end, and all the privacy was going to be violated, et cetera, et cetera. And we definitely had some incidents, and there's still a lot of work to be done. But we saw some really, really great progress on the larger conversation about how we leverage it as businesses, as individuals, to improve our lives and our businesses. But how do we do that in responsible ways? I thought there was really good work around that. I think in other sectors of privacy and security, some other really good things that have happened. I think privacy tech is really starting to settle into its own, if you would, right? Like I think it is moving away from just, oh my God, we're just gonna buy a cookie banner thing and throw that up, and that's privacy, to we've really started investing in technology that enables the business to execute on its privacy goals. I think we see the same thing from security. I think we see some really, really good advancements in how we approach security, not from just a tooling perspective, but from a risk perspective. I think things like ransomware has forced us to do that.
Right.
It's okay that there is, the change is here, and we have to change with. What else did you witness so far this year in the privacy and security world that you want to give a shout out to?
Everything that you said, but on top of it, you can see the shift in the privacy community in terms of new positions coming out. I think the voices out there are a little bit louder in terms of, I need more support from my security teams, that kind of thing, which is great to see. And like you were talking about the AI governance thing, some laws, it seems like extremely quickly put together and put in place to be in this era. I mean, being born in the 80s, I've gone through almost everything just like you have in terms of technology, and it's fascinating to see the rapid speed of AI and privacy and state privacy laws as well. Like with APRA, seeing some progress in terms, I know there were some cancellations of by the committee, but it's kind of cool to see that they're pushing for something bigger like GDPR over here in the States.
That is good stuff. The not so good news.
Yeah, not so good stuff.
The not so good stuff. We're only halfway through the year, and we have seen a staggering 2,741 publicly disclosed incidents of data breaches. And this is just in the United States. And this, by the way, does dip into last year a little bit. So these numbers cover from November 23 to April 24. So, there's a bit of a lagging indicator, if you want to call it that. The indicator here would be things are not well. We see the number of ransomware attacks occurring, being clocked at around 1 every 17 seconds. I saw some reports on. I saw some reports that mirrored similar things, but ultimately, I think we see it in the news. We were joking at the top of the show.
There's another one.
There's another one. And someone just got hit with ransomware. There it is. There it is. Before I even finished that sentence. Yeah, we were joking about the headlines, but I was talking to you, Cam, earlier today, and reflecting on the trajectory that we've watched ransomware take from being a nuisance. You mentioned we've seen a lot in technology for the last 30 years, and in that last 30 years, we've watched it go from nuisance to it'll put you right out of business. Right. From nuisance to it'll put you out of business. And so, the halfway point of this year is not looking great. I don't know. What was the worst of the worst of those months?
What is that? Who can we credit to this, Gabe? Is this the USA report? Data breaches and cyber attacks USA report 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. That's exactly who it is, and we'll drop creds to this report on the show. Make sure we tag them and point out those sources. But that is what this is from.
Now, I know you were voicing some strong opinions about ransomware. There's that I don't know if we stated this yet. The ransomware and supply chain attacks.
They're up there. They continue to be one of the number one ways that businesses are affected. And I mean, how do we not have an answer to that? Do we never have an answer to it? Is it just one of those things that I have an answer to what? To ransomware?
Yeah.
Oh, there are answers. There are definitely answers. There's
I
no two
guess
ways about
why
it.
is it still happening? I guess.
Because it's extremely profitable. And it
Yeah.
is relatively easy to perpetrate. And the business model has democratized it such that ransomware gangs have affiliate members that can carry out their dirty work and get kicked in for a percentage. As for the answers, you need three things. You need to make sure your data is safe. You need to make sure it's recoverable, and you need to do so in a manner that doesn't break the freaking bank. Because that's the reason why a lot of to your question about what answers do we have, a lot of answers don't get sought or executed on because people choose to do nothing, and then they're not malicious. They're not like, oh well, I'll just do nothing. It's they're making shitty trade-offs between what they have to do, and I see it every day. But those three things, that data safe, that data being recoverable, and doing it economically, those things will help you against ransomware. They will prevent ransomware. They will not necessarily prevent it from going away in the same way that, like, a flu shot doesn't prevent the flu from existing. But maybe I shouldn't have brought up flus. I don't want my anti-vax people canceling. It's like, stay subscribed. Stay subscribed, anti-vax people.
They're coming for you.
They are coming for me. But they know what I'm about to say. Don't at me.
At 'em.
Don't at me.
Don't at them. You won't find them.
No, you're not.
You won't
It's not
find
going to
them.
happen. It's not going to happen.
All right.
There
So
are
what?
answers. It is not
Yeah.
impossible. It is not impossible for us to put an end to the scourge. Why do I say that? It's not like these are 0 days for the most part, for frick's sake, right? It's not like, oh no, we will never stop a 0 day because it happens that fast. Like, that's not how ransomware is happening. It's not how it's happening at all. They're dwelling. They're taking the time. They get into the stuff. They're hitting the backups to make sure you can't recover. Like, we have answers. We have answers. If we make it less profitable, such that we never pay them, they'll change their motive. They'll change their modus operandi. They'll go to something different. For what it's worth, that doesn't mean we won't then be greeted with a different problem.
Yeah, right. Am I
right
reading
now,
this right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Go.
No, I was gonna say, am I reading this right? It says, look at that number there's a monthly breakdown for, from, like you were saying, from November 23 to April of 24. What is April that much more than everybody else? It's like, what happened in April? Am I reading that number right?
That number is 4,277,728,098 records breach. You, sir, are reading that number correctly.
And then there's nothing nowhere near that.
That dwarfs everything else. The last one that was that big was in December. There were 1.6 billion. I'll just round it. 1.6 billion. Actually, I'm rounding down, but whatever. 1.6 billion in December. I want to be intellectually honest here. We're journalists after all, right? Can't you see the little handwritten it says it right there, press, in my cap. I wrote it in the paper and I stuck it in my hand. I am depressed now. What happened in April?
Yeah.
Shit, I mean,
it's such a good month, man. Got my birthday in April.
What happened in April? There was that mother of all breaches, but I think that was prior to that. Misconfigured Google Firebase websites that exposed a whole ton of shit.
With Google.
Man, I don't know. We got to go dig into. Yeah, we got to go dig into that a bit more and see exactly what pushed that number up quite so high. It's crazy though.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah, I definitely want to know a little bit more about that. But if anybody listening knows.
Now's not the time. Now's not the time to get all dejected, though. We can definitely put a lot of this genie back in the box. Not all of it, but we can put a lot of it back in the bottom. There's not a good enough reason why we should have, 4 billion records breached in a month. And
that's just the U.S. That's wild.
That's just the U.S.
Did this report at all? I'm not sure if I see it, but is there a trend in organization or the type of organization that's mostly hit the most?
Not particularly. It does seem fairly scattered. I mean, there's some clusters, right, like in the healthcare space and such, but it's equally opportunistic. No one's safe because it's easy.
Wow. Yeah.
It's easy. I take you offline, you pay. Right? This isn't just even about exposing records any longer. I mean, that is problematic for most businesses. But this is very much hey, you're going to get caught in headline number 2. Headline number 1 was we breach you. Headline number 2 is you're still offline. Maybe you pay us. Maybe you pay us if you want to get back online.
Yeah.
No, it's unfortunate. Not to and know that I'm not picking on anyone, but like we watched the LA Unified School District. So I feel so very had to have been a stressful environment to have been in. They were down for months. Months. That's another trend we see. Like most of the folks, even if they pay the ransom, they're not getting their data back. They don't get their data back, even if they pay the ransom. Some folks paid it this year. They got nothing back. There was some nonsense in there. One of the affiliate groups ran off with the money, whatever. Doesn't matter. Business is still closed.
Oh, I got some statistics here. I went a little deeper. Let me see if I can. Oh yeah, you're good. But before we wrap this up, real quick, looks like there was it's between like hospitality and leisure, insurance, IT services, and software.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
Well, anyways, this is pretty fascinating, Gabe. Anything else you want to?
No, it's a good check-in. We're gonna do a little blogcast action on it. One of the things we'll be talking about, well in our next live show, related, we're gonna be talking a bit more about embracing privacy and security and how that can, really affect the operations of your business.
Right.
Which is really what we're talking about here today. Is these numbers are getting worse, but it's gone from nuisance to put you out of business. So,
right.
Who do we have for that live show? Who's coming on for that live show?
That is Amit Danneberg. She'll be on with us on July 16th.
I'm excited. Looking forward to that. So we've got episodes between now and then, of course, listeners, but that's the next live show.
That is the next live one. So register, join us, and we'll see you guys there. I appreciate it, Gabe.